Hi everyone. I will discuss about the Republic Act 1687, so the Unified Students Financial Assistance System for Tertiary Education or UNIFAS Act 65 scope and coverage of the UNIFAS. The Unified Students Financial Assistance System for Tertiary Education and UNIFAS shall consist of all 16 modalities of staff ups for tertiary education and special purpose education assistance in both and private institutions, including scholarships, grants and aid, students loans, and government programs in partnership with other stakeholders, among others, and which one nationally founded and or implemented by national and local government agencies, branches, and instrumentalities, whether in public, private, national, or local institution, can avail of any of one or more of the said modalities of staff up. So it's one of the topics we'll discuss. Shall prevent continuations or effective programs and implemented by another government. So agencies or state-funded staff-ups with a specific and targeted beneficiaries, and such as existing technical vocational scholarship and programs under the TISDA scholarship under Indigenous People Rights Act or EIPRA, the National Agriculture and Fisheries Education Systems and EFES Agriculture's and Competencies Enhanced Fund Scholarship or ECEFES, the Science and Technology Scholarships Act of 1994, the Fast Tracks and Scholarship Act of 2013, the expected government assistance of the students and leader in private education. That's all.
Hello everyone, I am Sarmi Manayaga from Group 11. I am here to discuss to you the learner-centered laws and policies. Our lesson objectives: at the end of the lesson, you are expected to first, design a proposal for the school and document the observation on the implementation of the laws and policies covering children. Second, express commitment in the implementation of the laws and policies for learners. And the third, demonstrate understanding on the learner-centered laws and policies. Let's prepare. To provide more background on the importance of protecting learners, read the quotes below. According to Albert Einstein, the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. It means that we should never turn a blind eye to the evil doings of others. Rather, we should inform or prevent them from engaging any of these wrongdoings. If we only watch them do what is wrong, our conscience will attack us and we will be unable to relax. Instead, we should learn how to correct their mistakes so that everyone benefit. According to Nelson Mandela, we owe our children, the most vulnerable citizen in our society, a life free of violence and fear. It means that a world where children know nothing of abuse, neglect, violence, war, exploitation. With our partners, we are ready to mobilize our collective expertise, resources, and influence to ensure stronger prevention and protection mechanism for those in need. Because, as Nelson Mandela said, safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment. According to Nelson Mandela, we owe our children, the most vulnerable citizen in in our society, a life free of violence and fear. It means that a world where children know nothing of abuse, neglect, violence, war, exploitation. With our partners, we are ready to mobilize our collective expertise, resources, and influence to ensure stronger prevention and protection mechanism for those in need. Because, as Nelson Mandela said, safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment. According to Anonymous, nothing is weaker or smaller than the man who hurts women or children, whether by his actions or by his words. It means that the most shameful and useless people are the one who abuses the women and children. Let's proceed to the Republic Act 7610. This act shall be known as the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination. What is RA 7610? An act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, providing penalties for its violation and for other purposes. Alam naman natin na sa ilalim ng RA 7610, pinoprotektahan ng batas ang mga kabataan mula sa pang-aabuso. At isa sa mga uri ng pang-aabuso ay ang tatalakayin natin ngayon na nasa Article 3. Children refers to a person below 18 years old of age or those over but are vulnerable to fully take care of themselves or protect themselves from abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitation, or discrimination because of a physical or mental disability or condition. So pag sinabi natin children, ito yung mga kabataang below 18 years old of age na hindi nila kayang protektahan ang kanilang sarili laban sa pang-aabuso. Ito ay mga kabataan na may sakit sa pag-iisip. Child abuse refers to the maltreatment, whether habitual or not, of the child. So, pag sinabi natin child abuse, ito naman ay ang pagmamaltrato ng mga kabataan, hindi lamang sa loob ng bahay, kundi na rin sa labas. First, psychological and physical abuse, neglect, cruelty, sexual abuse, emotional maltreatment. Ito daw ay kung saan ang mga kabataan ay minamaltrato, physical o emotional na kung saan nadadamay ang kanilang pag-iisip. Second, any act by deeds or words which debases, degrades, or demeans the intrinsic worth and dignity of a child as a human being. So dito naman, na kung saan ay unti-unti nasisira ang dignidad ng isang bata dahil sa maling ginagawa ng tao sa kanila. Third, unreasonable deprivation of his basic needs survival such as food, shelter. Ito naman ang mga magulang na hindi nila kayang ibigay ang mga pangangailangan sa kanilang anak. The fourth, failure to immediately give medical treatment to an injured child resulting in serious impairment of his growth and development or in this permanent incapacity or death. Ito naman yung mga magulang na hindi ito naman yung mga bata na kulang sa pag-aaruga ng kanilang magulang or wala silang kagamitan na para dalahin sa ospital yung kanilang anak kasi wala silang pera. Circumstances which gravely threatens or endanger the survival and normal development of children. First, being in a community where is armed conflict. Ito naman ay kung saan maraming giyera na nangyari sa kanilang lugar kaya ito ay naging sanhi na hindi sila magkaroon ng edukasyon. Second, working under condition hazardous to life, safety, and normal which unduly interfere with their normal development. Na kung saan ang mga kabataan ay nagtatrabaho, hindi dapat nila ito ginagawa dahil ito ay nakakaapekto sa kanilang development at hindi rin ito safe sa kanilang pamumuhay. Third, living in or fending for themselves in the streets or urban or rural areas without the care of parents or guardian or basic services needed for a good quality of life. Isa ito sa mga sa hindi safe para sa mga bata dahil sila ay open sa mga pang-aabuso tulad ng child trafficking, rape, na kung saan ito ay nakakasama sa kanila lalo na kung wala silang kasamang matatanda. The fourth, being a victim of a man-made or natural disaster or calamity. From the word poverty, isa ito sa mga kinakaharap ng mga Pilipino, lalo na ngayon. Comprehensive program against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination refers to the coordinated program of services and facilities to protect children against first, child prostitution and other sexual abuse, second, child trafficking, third, obscene publication and indecent shows, fourth, other acts of abuses. Section 5, child prostitution and other sexual abuse. Children, whether male or female, who for money, profit, or any other consideration, or due to coercion or influence of any adult, syndicate, or group, indulge in sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct are deemed to be children exploited in prostitution and other sexual abuse. So, ang sabi dito, children. Kapag sinabi natin na children, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin nito? Ito ay tumutukoy sa mga kabataang 12 years old pababa. Sabi dito, babae man o lalaki, na ginagamit para pagkakitaan ng pera. Once na sila ay indulged na in sexual intercourse, sila ay exploited na rin sa prostitution. Section 6, attempt to commit child prostitution. There is an attempt to commit child prostitution under Section 5. Paragraph A, hereof when any person who not being a relative of a child is found alone with the said child inside the room or cubicle of a house, an inn, hotel, motel, pension house, a bordel or similar establishments, vehicles, or any other hidden or secluded area under circumstances which would lead a reasonable person to believe that the child is about to be exploited in prostitution and other sexual abuse. So kapag pala ang isang tao ay nakita na may kasamang bata or kabataang 12 years old below na hindi naman niya kaano-ano sa isang inn, hotel, motel o kahit saan mang lugar or establishment to, nakaduda-duda na maaari niyang gamitin yung batang iyon bilang child prostitution. Section 8, attempt to commit child trafficking. First, when a child travels alone to foreign country without valid reason, therefore, and without clearance issued by the Department of Social Welfare and Development or written permit or justification from the child's parent or legal guardian, when a person or agency, establishment, or child-caring institution recruits women or couples to bear children for the purpose of a child trafficking, or when a doctor, hospital or clinic official or employee, nurse, midwife, local civil, registrar, or any other person stimulates birth for the purpose of child trafficking. So, kapag pala isang kabataan ay sinama ng isang tao na nasa legal age na sa isang foreign country without valid reason o wala namang permission sa kanyang magulang, ito ay tinatawag na attempt to commit child trafficking. Section 11. Sanctions of establishments or enterprises. All establishments and enterprises which promote or facilitate child prostitution and other sexual abuse, child trafficking, obscene publication, and indecent shows, and other acts of abuse shall be immediately closed and their authority or license to operate cancelled without prejudice the owner or management. So lahat ng mga establishment ay isasara kapag nahuli ito na gumagawa sila ng mga madalaswang gawain. Section 12. Employment of children. Children below 15 years of age may be employed except: first, when a child works directly under the sole responsibility of his parent or legal guardian and where only member of the employer's family are employed. Second, his employment neither endangers his life, safety and health and moral, nor impairments his normal development. Third, when the parent or legal guardian shall provide the said minor child the prescribed primary and or secondary education, or when a child's employment or participation in public and entertainment or information through cinema, theater, radio, television is essential. So kapag yung mga kabataan daw na below 15 years ay pwede na magtrabaho maliban na lang kung ang bata ay nasa ilalim pa ng pangangalaga ng kanilang mga magulang at kung ang kanilang magulang ay nagtatrabaho. Section 17. Survival, Protection, and Development. In addition to the rights guaranteed to children under this Act and other existing laws, children of indigenous cultural communities shall be entitled to protection, survival, and development consistent with the customs and tradition of the respective communities. So, para sa mga bata, ang karapatan sa buhay ay ang pagkakataong mabuhay at magkakaroon ng posibilidad na lumaki or umunlad at maging maganda ang kanilang buhay. So, binubuo ito ng karapatan ng mga bata. Meron itong dalawang aspeto. Ang karapatang maprotektahan ang buhay ng isang tao mula sa pagsilang at ang karapatang mabuhay dito sa mundo. Section 19. Health and Nutrition. The delivery of basic social services in health and nutrition to children of indigenous cultural communities shall be given priority by all government agencies concerned. Hospitals and other health institutions shall ensure that children of indigenous cultural communities are given equal attention. The provision of health and nutrition services to children of indigenous cultural communities, indigenous health practices, shall be respected and recognized. So alam naman natin na mostly sa indigenous people is may kakulangan sa kanilang basic needs. So ngayon ay meron ng batas para bigyan ng halaga ang mga indigenous people at bigyan sila ng mga facilities kung sila ay magkakasakit. Section 20. Discrimination. Children of indigenous cultural communities shall not be subjected to any and all forms of discrimination. So, ang mga kabataan na nabilong sa indigenous culture ay hindi pwedeng makaranas ng pangungutya or diskriminasyon. Kapag ang isang tao ay nangungutya or nagdi-discriminate ng kanyang kapwa, maaari siyang magbayad or magmulta ng 5,000 hanggang 10,000 pesos. Section 22. Children as Zone of Peace. Children shall be protected from any form of threat, assault, torture, or other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment. Children shall not be recruited to become member of armed forces of the Philippines, of its civilian units or other armed groups, nor be allowed to take part in the fighting or use as guide, couriers, or spies. Delivery of basic social services such as education, primary health, and emergencies relief services shall be kept unharmed. The safety and protection of those who provide services, including those involved in fact-finding missions from both government and non-government institutions, shall be ensured. They shall not be subjected to undue harassment in the performance of their work. So ito ay naglalayong protektahan ang mga bata sa mga sitwasyon ng mga armadong tunggalian mula sa lahat ng mga uri ng pang-aabuso at karahasan. Section 23. Evacuation of children during armed conflict. Children shall be given priority during evacuation as a result of armed conflict. Existing community organizations shall be taped to look after the safety and well-being of children during evacuation operations. Measures shall be taken to ensure that children evacuated are accompanied by persons responsible for their safety and well-being. So sabi dito, kailangang i-prioritize ang mga kabataan lalong-lalo na kung ito ay magkakaroon ng problema sa kanilang lugar, like gyera. Section 24. Family life and temporary shelter. Whenever possible, members of the same family shall be housed in the same premises and given separate accommodation from the other evacuees and provided with facilities to lead a normal family life in places of temporary shelter. Expectant and nursing mothers and children shall be given additional food in proportion to their psychological needs. Whenever feasible, children shall be given opportunities for physical exercises, sports, and other outdoor games. Sabi dito, nagbibigay sila ng programang pansamantalang tirahan at naglalayong magbigay ng ligtas na sapat na naaangkop na tirahan para sa mga sambayanan na ang permanenteng solusyon sa pabahay ay hindi pa nare-resolba. Section 25. Rights of children arrested for reasons related to armed conflict. Any child who has been arrested for reasons related to armed conflict, either as the combatant, courier, guide, or spy, is entitled to the following rights. First, separate detention from adults except where families are accommodated as family units. Second, immediate free legal assistance. Third, immediate notice of such arrest to the parents or guardians of the child and release of the child on recognizance within 24 hours to the custody. So ito ay ang mga proteksyon na ibibigay sa mga bata sa panahon ng labanan, lalo na ang kanilang access sa mga supply na mahalaga para sa kanilang physical at mental na kinakailangan, tulad ng pangangailangang medikal, pagkain at pananamit, at ang kanilang access sa mga aktibidad na mahalaga para sa kanilang pag-unlad, at also ang particular na edukasyon. Section 26. Monitoring and reporting of children in situations of armed conflict. The chairman of the barangay affected by the armed conflict shall submit the names of the children residing in said barangays to the Municipal Social Welfare and Development Officer within 24 hours from the occurrence of the armed conflict. Ito ay nag-aalok ng isa na natatanging pagkakataon para sa kapunan ng bansa na estratehikong makipag-ugnayan sa mga partido sa isang salungatan upang matugunan ang mga malulubhang paglalaban sa mga bata. Section 27. Who may file a complaint? Complaints on cases of unlawful acts committed against the children as enumerated herein may be filed by the following: first, offended party; second, parents or guardians; third, ascendant or collateral relative within the third degree of consanguinity; fourth, officer, social worker, or representative of a licensed child caring institution; if officer or social worker of the Department of Social Welfare and Development; 6, barangay chairman or at least 3 concerned responsible citizen where the violation occurred. So, sabi dito, ang nasaktang partido ay maaaring magsampa ng isang complaint laban sa taong may pananagutan sa paggawa ng mga illegal or ng aabuso para sa mga taong umaabuso ng mga minor de edad or mga kabataan. Section 28. Protective custody of the child. The offended party shall be immediately placed under the protective custody of the Department of Social Welfare and Development pursuant to the Executive Order Number 56 Series of 1986. In the regular performance of this function, the officer of the Department of Social Welfare and Development shall be free from any administrative, civil, or criminal liability. Custody proceedings shall be in accordance with the provision of Presidential Decree Number 603. So sabi dito, ang mga bilanggo ay may pagkakataong humiling ng proteksyon na pag-iingat kung sila ay nakakakuha ng impresyon na ang kapaligiran nila or ang kanilang tinitirhan ay nakakapinsala sa kanilang kapakanan. Section 29. Confidentiality. At the instance of the offended party, his name may be withheld from the public until the court acquires jurisdiction over the case. It shall be unlawful for any editor, publisher, and reporter or columnist in case of printed materials, announcers or producers in case of television and radio broadcasting, producers and directors of the film in case of the movie industry, to cause undue and sensationalized publicity of any case of violation of this act which results in the moral degradation and suffering of the offended party. So, sabi dito, ang isang taong gumagawa ng isang mabuting ulat at pinaghihinalaang pang-aabuso o pagpapabaya ay makakatiyak na siya ay may karapatan sa pagiging confidential ng kanyang pagkakakilanlan, na may pagsisiwalat ng pagkakakilanlan lamang sa nakasulat na pahintulot ng reporter o sa pag-utos ng korte. So let's proceed to the Republic Act 7877. Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. It means that an act declaring sexual harassment unlawful in the employment, education, or training environment and for other purposes. Section 3. Work, education, or training-related sexual harassment defined. Work, education, or training-related sexual harassment is committed by an employer, employee, manager, supervisor, agent of the employer, teacher, instructor, professor, coach, trainer, or any other person who having authority, influence, or moral ascendancy over another in a work or training or education environment, demands, requests, or otherwise requires any sexual favor from the other, regardless of whether the demand, request, or requirement for submission is accepted by the objects of said act. So, sabi dito, ito ay mga kanais-nais na ginagawa ng isang tao mula sa kanilang trabaho na maaaring mang-abuso sa loob ng kanilang trabaho, lalo na kung ito ay iyong employer na kung saan ito ay nang-aabuso sa iyo. Section 4. Duty of the employer or head office in a work-related education or training environment. It shall be the duty of the employer or the head of the work-related educational or training environment or institution to prevent or deter the commission of acts of sexual harassment and to provide the procedures for the resolution, settlement, or prosecution of acts of sexual harassment. So sabi dito ang taga-empleyo or pinuno ng opisina ay inaatasan ng batas na pigilan ang paglitaw ng mga gawaing sexual na panliligalig at magbibigay ng mga pamamaraan para sa paglutas o sa pagpapaayos ng kanilang mga ginagawa.
Good morning everyone, I'm Princess Cathy Sidaya. So, my report is all about Republic Act 10627, also known as anti-bullying. So, bullying shall refer to severe or repeated use by one or more student of a written, verbal or electronic expression or a physical act or gesture or any combination thereof directed at another student that has the effect of actually causing or placing the latter in reasonable fear of physical or emotional harm or damage to his property. Creating a hostile environment at school, infringing on the rights of the other student at school, or materially and substantially disrupting the education process or the orderly operation